Wow. So everybody get ready to meet Jake Subba Row, the London entrepreneur behind OKII, the AI consulting firm that's completely transforming how commercial real estate firms operate by turning complex technology into money-making machines. OKII isn't just another tech company. It's what Jake calls the AI Launchpad, specifically built for the commercial real estate world, where brokers, agents, firms get practical tools like automated lead generation, smart chatbots, and reporting systems that actually work in their day-to-day business. What makes OKII absolutely brilliant is that Jake packages everything into a plug-and-play solution. So the professionals don't need to be tech wizards to start automating their operations and driving more revenue. The heart of OKII is Jake's CRE Launchpad community, where commercial real estate professionals get templates, step-by-step lessons, expert support to implement AI tools that save them hours every week while bringing in more deals. And right now, Jake's taking OKII, the message for OKII across Europe, showing the entire commercial real estate industry how his company is making AI accessible, practical, and profitable for firms of every size. So, Jake, thank you for jumping on board the Zoom call. We look forward to asking you some questions and getting to know you and your company better.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Phil. Lovely introduction.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Here we go. So, number one, how long have you been playing with AI? We know AI overall is newer, but what got you interested and started in working in AI?
Well, I think previously I've been working in the retail side on ERP heavy systems, and yeah, ChatGPT got released, and you're playing around with it, thinking, how can this support retailers? And being surrounded by technical people playing with these tools, naturally it was a place for me to then go and play with them as well. We're just experiencing it, seeing the power, seeing the limitations, seeing like what sort of business applications could be used here. I mean, it was so rubbish when it came out. It was like this seed that got me thinking, okay, if this gets a little bit better, where can I apply this?
So I'm kind of curious. So what inspired you to launch OKII and focus on real estate rather than maybe a broader AI market?
I think I've always loved being sort of entrepreneurial and being curious about how I can be helpful. I think, well, entrepreneurship is a great way of like embodying that into a business sense. Yeah, I've had my own little businesses when I was much younger, even went on and studied entrepreneurship at university, and then I've only really worked in startups since. After getting some experience, it only seemed natural to put more skin in the game and actually build my own thing, right? See what I was capable of.
That's good. So you emphasize turning AI from a buzzword to bottom line. So what specific metrics or examples best illustrate that transformation for any of your OKII clients?
I think like it's got to the point where AI is a really annoying term because it's just absolutely everywhere. And
Right.
the majority of people are using ChatGPT, but they're not like the hype of the word versus how they're actually using it in their business, like doesn't match up. So there's a lot of frustration. So I work with people to try and turn that frustration actually into something meaningful, saving time, getting people back with clients, which are actually where I think their time is best spent. So recently wrapped up a project with a project management and quantity surveying firm. And like the net outcome of that was we changed the tooling process, and it's like we're on track to save about 1,000 hours over the course of the year, which was
Wow.
amazing. One to sort of 1.6, which equates to like a full-time employee. So it's like distributing out so much more time to these people, which is amazing. Super tangible, better than the sort of general ChatGPT prompt every time. How do I save some time?
That's good. So when you are onboarding, let's say a real estate broker, what are some of the common pain points that you're addressing, and how do you actually prioritize which AI solutions they should be using?
I think that the tricky thing is real estate is so contextual. Each new business is so contextual. So people ask what tool should I be using? Is there one tool that sticks out above the rest? And the answer isn't really yes. So it's highly contextual. Each business has its own needs, and then different tools cater to those specific needs. So there's no universal tool, but the main thing is getting people saving time, removing drudgery in admin, trying to automate some part of the reports. Maybe it's looking at trying to abstract leases or something like that. But really removing like the admin element from people's work so that they can spend more time where I think they're best suited, which is networking, drumming up new things for clients, being creative in new deals. that's the focus.
And I'll ask you about some of your favorite tools a little bit later, even though there's maybe not a set number of tools that you would recommend, but I'm curious to find out some of your favorites. So I'll ask you that in a minute here. But what I wanted to do is, do you have any stories of how you've leveraged a chatbot or an automation or done something using AI to help a real estate professional?
Yeah, one of the first clients I worked with, they sold like international real estate, so like international villas and homes and that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
And given that it was international and global, like they were having inquiries coming in like pretty consistently all through the course of the day. And they were finding that, they were just manually replying to comments. So that would be in their 9 to 5 working hours. And like one thing we noticed was, um, the speed of response time is really important. So if you're getting messages
yeah,
coming in the night when your team aren't working, and the response is only going back X number of hours later, the likelihood is
sure.
that person's probably moved on, found a different brokerage, or been looking at other properties. So AI was a really cool system, a chatbot system that we put in there so that the responses were always immediate. It might not be as amazing as like the human person responding, but at least they're getting a response to that initial question or answer that they had. So that was a really cool use case.
That's good. So I would like to know some more details about your CRE AI Launchpad and maybe a little bit about your vision behind it.
Yeah, for sure. So it was kind of my wacky side project of seeing that, education was like a really important part of actually, like AI kind of all these new tools, sorry, that are coming out. They're like really stressful for people because they don't understand how they work, where to use them, all this different stuff. So I wanted to put together like a sort of education like learning platform to be able to take anyone from like I have no idea what this new thing is all the way to actually being quite proficient with it. So that goes through like, where did this come from? Explaining the history of the space, and then actually
Yeah.
going through and doing like live practical workflows. Because I was seeing stories of like big firms in London that were spending like millions of pounds on these AI projects, this sort of chat GPT for our company. And then I was hearing all these anecdotes from friends that worked at these companies, and they were like, we don't use it. Like, there's no utility for it. And I was like, this is really wasteful. So the learning platform was just, how do we translate this knowledge to anyone that's interested in it?
Good. So, so is it like because I mentioned there's a community aspect of it. There's a little bit
Yeah.
of a training. So is it like a course or is it like something live they go through? Kind of give us more details of exactly how this program works.
Yeah, so it's a course called the course is called Foundations. So like the analogy
Yeah.
was, building a successful sort of AI technology future in real estate. You build
Yeah.
the same way you construct buildings, right? You start with the formwork, you lay the foundations, and then you build your skills up on top, like you'd add your floors to your building or whatever. And it's the same, right? You got to start from the beginning, understand where it's come from, like pour that knowledge in. Then you start with, understanding what ChatGPT is or a few little skills, and then you keep adding and keep adding and keep adding. And by the time you've got to sort of the end of the foundations course, it's like you're able to build your own custom GPTs, you're able to build sort of your own like automation, all that sort of stuff. So
Nice.
it's my like I might be wrong, but it was my like logical way of actually getting people started with AI and trying to make it like more fun rather than, screaming at people, you need to learn this way and you need to do like that. So yeah, easy. And everyone's super busy. So I wanted to put it online and in a platform, in a community where, okay, you've got 10 minutes here, you've got 10 minutes there, or your meeting gets cancelled, you want to build your AI skills. You can do it there. So it's a course, and then there's other sections with like shorter videos, so new tools, shorter videos, and then also like frameworks, mind maps that you can look through about different dynamics within real estate. So you work for a small firm, like where are some of the areas where you can lean into, like offering a more personalized service,
Yeah.
or in a big firm, like, and some of the things that you can be doing there. So yeah, it's me trying to get the stuff out of my head, um, and hoping it's valuable to someone somewhere.
So I'm sure you're a lot like I am, where I am following 4 different newsletters and people on Instagram and people on TikTok who are leveraging AI. And dude, the tools are like changing so fast, and there's something brand new almost every day that's coming out. I'm just kind of curious, like, how do you stay inspired and how do you stay grounded when you've got like all this stuff coming at you as fast as it?
Yeah, there's there's no sort of royal answer or like royal road to like staying on top of it. Like
Yeah,
I think that the key like bit I picked up was it just has to be fun. Like yeah, it
right.
has to be fun for me. So I lean into the things that I find like really interesting. So yeah, at the moment,
That's
like
good.
it's like getting data that I want for my business. So like I'm really interested in that and like how do I acquire this data and talk to agents I'm really interested in at the moment. Like I was at like a hackathon yesterday. So it's like speaking to people, what tools are they using? And for me, trying to stay off X sort of in the week has been like has been much more helpful. I'll check it quickly, but it's impossible to keep up with like how many new tools there are. I was like trying too many out. It's like stick with the
Yeah.
ones you like, and then people that you like that you speak to, find out what tools they like, and give those a try.
I even this morning, Notebook LM came out with their new voice script where it creates kind of like a voice video walking through whatever it is you have on text. And I'm like, oh, that sounds amazing, you know. And so I'll jump in for a few minutes. Every day I'm carving out a little bit of time where I'll go in and I'll say, okay, let me see how I could make this useful for commercial real estate. And then I listen to a 5 minute thing it put out, and I'm like, yeah, it needs more work before I start telling anybody how to use this. I'll play with it more. I'm curious, what are your personal habits or learning routines that you have for your growth?
Yeah, well, in terms of AI tools, I think like deep research has been like a real unlock for me, yeah, since it's come out. So pairing any of the deep research tools with Notebook LM has been really awesome for me. So yeah, I have like a little process that I go through. I found a problem in my business, or there's an area that like piques my curiosity, and that doesn't have to be in work. It can be in anything that I'm interested in. You know, I'll
Sure.
run ChatGPT's deep research, I'll run Grok deeper search, and then I'll run Perplexity, all with like a nicely configured prompt at the same time, and then take all those, put it into Notebook LM. Yeah, maybe give the podcast thing a prompt, and then I like going for a walk, like getting out, and then I'll go and like listen to it whilst I'm walking, and that for me um has been really cool.
Yeah, that is good. Yeah, there's times when I'm doing my walking or if I'm at the gym, I'll plug
Yeah,
something on like that and listen to it as well. Yeah.
yeah, the gym's great. What
Um,
about you? What's your favorite
my favorite way to learn
to
AI.
learn?
So I have what I've done is, when you're inside Instagram, you can train Instagram and TikTok. You can actually tell it what it is you're interested in. So it notices what you spend time on. And so I have begun not spending time on things I don't want to learn. And I've been purposely following and trying to comment inside different social media platforms, particularly TikTok and Facebook or Instagram. Those are the two. I'm not really in Facebook much, but on those two social platforms, because I am now watching and I'm commenting, I'm getting even more. So I
Hmm.
consistently am getting really good feeds on those two platforms that is pointing me to some of the trends, the new things that are coming out. And that allows me to go in and say, hey, I think I want to jump in. I also follow some newsletters. And so these newsletters are emails that I will get on a daily basis of the different things that are happening. So I have 3 of those that I'm following. And inside the LCRE, the school community that I have for brokers, I have a section in there that shows exactly what those newsletters are. So if anybody wants to follow those, they can jump in and sign up and get access to those for free. But yeah, those are the 2 things I do. And then, like I mentioned, I try to block out, if I can, a couple of days a week where I just stop everything I'm doing and let me just play and have fun. Like you said, if it's not fun, but it is work. There's aspects of work, but could I find something that would allow me to work, make it enjoyable, and then show somebody something I'm getting some traction on. If it's wasting my time, if it's burdening, if it's no fun, then I don't even share it. It's like, so I have a lot of that, by the way. A lot of the AI crap that's like, what the heck? So I keep experimenting and trying. And then when I really unlock like a hidden gem where I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I love this. That's when I'm out there kind of just sharing with other brokers. Here's some cool traction I have received. So that's how I do it on my end. So I want to go back to that one question I was going to ask you earlier. I am curious. So outside of the main four LLMs, we've got Grok, we've got ChatGPT, we got Claude, we also have Perplexity, right? Out of all those, what would be your top 3 AI tools that you would recommend maybe a commercial real estate broker start leveraging for their business?
Oh, interesting. I think deep research is really good. So you can get that kind of agnostic of platforms now.
Yep. And you're talking about deep research that's inside of these LLMs, right?
Yeah. Okay. So I think that's really interesting for, everyone wants to keep up to date on the market, what's happening in your patch or like your area. Right. And of course you can read, the 10 different newsletters that everyone gets every day or, speak to mates in the industry and trade information. But I think like having that as something that loads like, in the mornings. So really easy to do on ChatGPT. You can set it as like a task that goes out and runs every morning. That's great. It's like your own personal news because something that the social media networks aren't great at is right. They give you just too much information. So I think that's really valuable to actually just get like, okay, update me in the morning, like, on your commute in or whatever else. So that's really good. Like leading on from that, I think Notebook LM, that podcast, you can apply the same thing, right? So maybe you don't want to read in the morning. You just want to sit on the underground or, you're driving into work or whatever it is. Listen to it in the morning. I think that's great.
And side note on that, which I've done, and you probably have done this as well. So I'll get the newsletter that comes in, right? And then I will take that newsletter, put it into the Notebook LM, have it create the podcast, and then I'll sit and then just listen to that as I'm going somewhere. I'm also learning how to do, better sales and changing some frameworks of how I'm communicating when I'm on the phone. And so I ended up having a class I was in, and I took the guy's all his notes, and he had like 5 or 6 different YouTube videos. I took all those videos, I uploaded everything inside Notebook LM, and then created a podcast that I could listen to as I'm learning. And so I sent it over to the guy, the instructor, and he was like, "Shut up! This is amazing," But it was something that I wanted to do for me, and it just happened to be something he thought it had some value as well. But yeah, I agree. Taking stuff and throwing it inside Notebook LM and then using their kind of podcast features, awesome. Any other tools awesome you can think of?
Well, like a big one over here is like, LinkedIn. So it's not part of the AI thing, but LinkedIn and like, who and who's in your network. I think at the moment there's a big trait of just, I'll add my mates in the industry, which is pretty common. So just like adding, but that's not really like the most valuable. So I use these tools quite a lot, and I recommend people to use these tools to like actually think more critically about the sort of network that you want to build, right?
Yeah.
So, where's the tenant demand coming from if you're in that sort of business? And then actually, how do you build your network around that? So when you're, putting your posts out on LinkedIn, who do you want to be interacting with that? Like, who are your potential customers? So I think that's really good. So I've used that in my own business and help other people to do that. Because like, yeah, if you're spending time on content or you're posting stuff out there, really you want it to go to more than just your mates. You want it to, people that can take great benefit from your service, people that you can help and guide them to their new space or whatever you're doing, and ultimately help you do more deals whilst you're at work. So yeah, those would be my really simple tips.
Yeah, for me, a couple of tools is make.com. I've really enjoyed Make. It's allowed me to do automations. So here's the thing is I am the CRM that I'm using, it does connect to my 365. But what it does not connect to is my phone, because on my phone, the way that I'm getting all my contacts is my contacts are on my Google contacts, right? So I was able to use Make to say, hey, when I create a brand new contact in my CRM, would you please take that and send it over to Google and then create a contact inside Google and then update that onto my phone? And so that one automation has saved me so much time, because I was literally having to double add people twice
Mhm.
to make sure that if they called me, it actually showed up on my phone, right? And so now that's all done behind the scenes. The other thing I did is I wanted to be able to cut the time down for my virtual assistants on creating blogs and articles. And so I was able to create two different automations and Make. One is using Claude, because Claude is fantastic for copy, but also ChatGPT. And inside ChatGPT, I've created some GPTs where it's really designed to create content that is very short, to the point. It's fantastic for the commercial real estate industry, because a lot of these owners, they need you to be to the point, direct, right? And we're not creating fluff and emotion and all these other things. So I was able to connect that. So now it's creating blogs that are really ideal for the people I'm reaching in commercial real estate. And we get two. So we'll get like one from Claude, we'll get one from Chat GPT, and then we'll take that and then merge them together, which is awesome, because it allows us to double check and see, hey, we're getting something unique. The other thing we do is we have another AI tool. And man, I forget the name of it, but my Prince, who's in charge of our blogs, he uses an AI tool to make sure that there's, we're not actually having any plagiarism. And then once that's done, it comes to me in Asana, which is a great tool. And then I'm able to figure out what changes need to be made, and I send it back over to him. So that right there, using Make, has allowed us now to go from, it was taking roughly, I'd say 3 to 5 hours to create a blog. And so we were doing really one blog in a week. And now we're able to get 3 to 5 blogs in a week, because we just cut the time, such a big way. Another tool that, if you're doing content, Repurpose.io is an AI tool. And Repurpose.io will literally take something you're doing on TikTok, and it will automatically take what's being done and put it up into like YouTube for you automatically. And then when you're creating anything in TikTok, you'll notice it shows up on your phone. You can then take those and then put those up into your Instagram stories. If you could take some sort of content you're doing and then repurpose it somewhere else, it also allows you to post on LinkedIn and a few other things. So that might be a tool that I would say, if a broker is already trying to figure out how to get content out there, this might be a way to get more content out there quicker and faster.
100%.
Yeah,
Just adding to that, I think GPT is a really fun place to start for a lot of people.
it is.
Like
Yes.
a really great one one that I'm liking at the moment, right? So you out and about, I'm out in London, trying to go to all these networking events, meeting lots of people. And like it's really easy just to forget. And then you like a week goes past, you're like, who did I meet? What was that conversation I had? What was
Yeah,
that
yeah.
snippet? Right? So really simple GPT. I have my sort of networking brain. They're all the GPTs are always these ridiculous sort of names, but my networking brain, which is, I just ping it up after I've been to a networking event, series of questions. Who did you meet? I normally connect with them on LinkedIn, so I just take a screenshot of the profile, upload it in, pulls all that out, all the snippets, go through a little question series, and then it puts it in my Google sheet so that, like if I've come back and had a conversation with someone and it's been a month or they've been on holiday, I can then, have just a much more organic conversation with them. I can say, "Oh, it's
That's a great
great to see
idea.
you then." All these little snippets. Yeah, so I have a few of those sort of knocking about.
But you know what we'll do, Jake, is with your permission, I would love to include some of your GPTs into our GPT library that we have inside our school community for
Yeah, for
commercial
sure.
brokers. Yeah. The that one I had mentioned, it's called the Brutal Copy Critic. And the reason why I call it brutal is I made the knowledge bank from the top 5 most in your face copywriters, right? in America and just said, I want you to talk like they talk. But then I took it and said, but your audience is going to be commercial real estate industry, right? And then I said, here's literally how people talk. Here's how we perform in the commercial real estate. Here's, personality types. And so I took all 5 of these copywriters, the whole aspect of understanding a commercial, and I threw it into one chat GPT. And so then if you have an email you're sending out and you're wondering, is this really good enough? You can just throw it in there. You don't even have to have a prompt. You just throw it in there and it'll take it and it'll say, okay, here is all the things that we see wrong with it. What's funny about it, and the reason why I call it brutal, is it'll chew you out and just tell you hysterically how bad your copy is. And then it tells you what it's missing. And then it tells you, here are some of the things that you needed to put in. And then it rewrites it for you. And it also at times will ask you questions if it feels like it needs more information to give it a bigger punch. So, it also is requiring call to actions, and most of us never put a call to action inside of our copy. So, yeah, it's a great GPT. That's one of the ones. It's the very first one I have. I use it almost every day now, but that's a nice AI tool, like you said. That GPTs are great to make your life just a little bit easier. So that's good. Okay, so I got a couple more questions, and we'll wrap up here. So, what misconception do you think that people have when they hear AI for real estate? Like, how do you overcome that in your messaging?
I'd be lying if I said it was easy. I think it is incredibly tricky. And I'm still working it out. So this is no oracle message from me here. But
Right.
I think that the key thing is, at least in London, most sort of managing directors or most people, running the shop are,
Yeah.
In their 50s and 60s. And these are people that, if you wanted a CRM 5 or 10 years ago, it was, £100,000 and it never worked. And I think for real estate, technology's always been this bugbear. It's been expensive and it hasn't really delivered. So there's always been a
Right.
tendency to lean towards, this is the business of, the results we get are as a result of how hard we hustle as a team and, how smart we are. So technology's been on the back burner and it's just been email really, and maybe some other crappy tools. But so it's trying to get people out of the state of mind and see like, okay, you've heard of ChatGPT. Why don't we start there? But this is just to get you a feeling. There's so much more out there, like amazing machine learning and
Yeah.
amazing specialized AI tools to help remove a lot of the sort of drudgery and a lot of the admin stuff that everyone in real estate does, but no one enjoys doing.
Yep.
Yeah, for me, it's always been about how do how do I help you spend more time with clients? We know that's where your time's best spent. We know that's where
Yeah.
you're happiest. We know that's what you love doing. How do we get you there more often? And that's really the root of it. So for me, it's trying to be creative and trying to show off great use cases and sort of just building my proof over time to try and make my argument a bit more persuasive.
So my last question is, a commercial real estate broker says, okay, Jake, I'm going to jump in. I'm going to figure out how to start leveraging and using AI in my business. First part of the question is, how much time do you think they should start investing? And is that daily or is it once a week? And then what's the very first step you recommend they do?
Yeah, again, the business is highly contextual, so it does depend on the specific person, the specific use case. The key things I see going wrong are people think, we need to lock the company down. We need an all hands meeting. Everyone must be here on this, and we need consensus on, what is our game plan and what are we doing? What do we all agree? Where are the areas?
Sure.
Can this solve 100 problems for us? And it's just so counterintuitive. These projects don't work. The best place, I say, is start as small as humanly possible and make it the most fun problem that you're willing and happy to solve. Is in some way meaningful to your business, right? Is it upgrading your logo or helping with design? Is it writing more content? What is it? It all just depends on what the actual business feels like is an exciting problem to solve. And the reason is if it's exciting and if you change the narrative and make people understand that these tools, can be fun and we can solve fun problems, the likelihood is you're going to get total company buy-in and you're going to get amazing results from it in 6 months' time. If you start with 100 projects and it's all incredibly boring, it's all 100
Right.
make automations, the project falls by the wayside. You're still there chatting a year later as to why nothing's happened. AI is
Yeah.
a lie and this is terrible technology. It just isn't a case. All you have to do is look at the stock market.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be my advice.
All right. So we will have access to all the links for OKII and your um, your program that you have, the course. But what's the best way for someone to get in touch with you?
Yeah, well, I'm available. I spend quite a lot of time on LinkedIn. I'm trying to sort of grow that.
Okay.
So you can
We'll
find
make
me
sure we
there.
include that. Okay. Good.
Where else? You can on the website, so oki.co.uk. You can have a little look on there, and you can book a call with me if it's something that you're interested in. Um, yeah, those are the best places to find me, or through Phil. Phil will point you in the right direction.
Exactly. And just wanted to kind of talk. So you have a community. Kind of just walk us through what the cost is and how they can get access to that.
Yeah, so the community starts at 97 a month, so $97
Okay.
a month. And yeah, you can get access to that by going onto the Oki website, and it's in there on the top right hand corner. You can access it and get started right away. And yeah, it's the best way I could think of about making AI fun for commercial real estate brokers to get started, right? And to use it in the spare time you have. So course on
Yeah.
there. We do like weekly calls, and it's a space for you. If anyone gets stuck, they drop me a message saying, "Hey, can you make this a bit clearer?" And it's everything I learn and pick up on, I throw in there. So yeah, I like
Yeah.
to think it's the easiest way for people to get started.
That's good. Well, I'm going to be up at the Corfac International Conference up in Amsterdam, September 14th. I heard you might be showing up. So if anyone who's listening to this is going to be in the area and you'd like to meet myself or Jake in person, yep, we both may be up there. I'll be there for sure. I think you're
Mhm.
still trying to figure out some plans if you're going to make it up there. But yeah,
I'm trying my
uh,
best. I've got a bit
yeah,
on, but
it would be good for me to meet you in person, actually.
yes, I know we got to get it done.
Yeah. And you're located, what part of London are you in?
So I'm near. So anyone that's been watching the sport, I'm very near to Wimbledon tennis.
Nice.
That's where I'm based living. But I spend most of my time at the moment out of Monument, Old Street, which is where every single tech event in London seems to be at the moment. Yeah,
Fun.
in
That's
and around.
great. Yeah. Well, I do appreciate you taking a few minutes and jumping on today's Zoom call. And yeah, we'll make sure we have all of the details about who you are and all the links available so people can find you. And thanks for jumping on, Jake.
Pleasure. Thank you, Phil. I've really enjoyed our discussion so far and nerding out on all the different things. So you are a
Yeah.
legend. Looking forward to catching up soon.